Hello, everyone. We're back with the Lighthouse podcast alongside my business partner, good friend, Alex Camargo. Today, we have a very special guest, somebody that's been helping us tremendously with the growth of our business, somebody that we've known for quite a while now. Without further ado, let's introduce Daniel Laender to the show today. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Sounds
much.
like he comes from the mortgage industry.
Yeah,
Daniel
Daniel.
Laender.
Daniel Laender.
Daniel Laender. He
Almost.
will lend you some knowledge today.
There you go.
Daniel has a background with Digital World. He's been helping us at the Lighthouse here with our videography, our videos. As you could probably tell, lately we've been putting out some great content. And before anything, I want to thank you for helping us with that. It's been a tremendous growth for us since you're part of the team. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the digital world, the different platforms that we can that is actually the heart of all business today: branding, social media, the access. Right? That's what we're going to call it: the access to any business today. So why don't you introduce yourself, Daniel? Tell us a little bit about yourself, about what you do, and we'll dive in from there.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, my name is Daniel Laender. I've been advocate. I've been a fan and a long-time student of film cinematography. I love it. I love the storytelling aspect of all that we do. That's really where my heart is and passion is. The whole marketing and digital platforms that we go in. It is more of a holistic approach as opposed to just like, okay, you have to do videos, you have to do TikTok, you have to do. I think it's more than that. It's because if we get into the technical aspects of the thing, you know what I mean? How to post something on Facebook, how to work the algorithm on Instagram or TikTok. Those you learn along the way. But the true heart of it is that how can I tell my story in a way that's appealing to the people that I actually want to help? That's really where the heart of marketing and branding is, because you want to create a brand that generates trust with the people that you're working with or the people that you're reaching. And so, like I said, that this is really my heart. I've been doing it for a while now, and prior to that, I was also pastoring for a very long time. And so I kind of have a pulse on the community and what people like to do, what they don't like to do. I also enjoy the psychology of things. I am a student of psychology, so I love how people behave and how they work and why they buy certain things and how they behave around certain things like the social platforms. And so all of these things kind of culminate and kind of came into this final convergent point of now doing marketing and advertising and working in this field. So yeah, I enjoy it very much. I love this part of it.
So let's start with a bold statement. How important is digital marketing for 80% of the business out there right now? That includes us, real estate agents, the mortgage agents, the insurance agents, the construction people. If you were to put out a bold statement out there, how important it is for these businesses to survive, to be doing business 5 years from now?
Mm-hmm.
How much of it how much of their business has to revolve around social media? How important is it?
Well, it's as important as how many people still read the newspaper. How many people still open up a magazine out of the street vendors in the street? Nobody does those things anymore. So it's extremely important, because if you want to be relevant, if you want to be out there, you have to go where people are going. Like I said about the social behavior. Behavior has changed. Like my daughter, she's 6 years old. She does not know how to search anything, and yet she can, because all she goes and says is, "Hey Google," and she's searching everywhere. "Hey Google, show me pictures of LOL dolls. Hey Google, do this." So, and that's even further down the line. Like our children are growing up with this. So if you are not present in the digital world, if you're not there, you're not part of a conversation that's happening without you. So you have to be there. It's not even, like I even said, it's a more of a holistic thing. It's not about, ooh, the young kids do it, so I have to do it now. It's like, no, it's not even that at all. It's where the human behavior is going towards. If you're not present, it is like that. It's like a grandfather trying to speak with their grandchildren. My daughter doesn't speak Portuguese so much, and so the grandparents can't really communicate with her so much, so she doesn't enjoy it. She will prefer to speak with my parents because my parents speak English. And so it's like, how do you breach that gap of communication? Well, that's leveraging technology in your favor. If you don't leverage it, you won't be part of a conversation. Then all of a sudden you just stay there complaining, like, how come my business is tanking? How come I'm not making as much money as I used to 5 years ago? How come things aren't going, like, should I retire now? Am I out of the game? Well, no, you have to just make yourself, you have to give yourself the luxury of learning something new and leveraging those technologies in order to make it happen. So it's extremely important. If you're not doing that.
Would you say that for a business owner not to be involved in any digital marketing is the equivalent of a random person not having a cell phone and not being able to travel by plane in case they only had the option of walking places? Is this a good comparison?
Yes, because if you think about it, a business owner can only reach what he can reach locally, right? The people who are local will be able to see your business. So as far as the eye can see, pretty much, that's your reach. So if they can't see you, you pretty much don't exist, right?
Yeah, it really goes to, I heard someone saying this before, and I thought it was really interesting. We're living in the era of the who and not the know-how anymore, right?
Yeah.
So you look for, like, whoever has the presence online, they're going to look for that person for other things. For example, I'm in the real estate industry. I have a presence online, and I'm always posting about, what to do when to buy a house. Well, here are the steps to take. Just trying to work on that. Because a lot of people, they learn different ways. That's like which system works better, the representational system. Some people learning, like Alex likes to listen to books, and I like to read them a little bit more.
Yeah, same with me.
So his ears catches a lot more than mine would, or some people are vision, they have to see it, like, oh, if I watch somebody doing something, I will learn. And some people have to do it, so the depending on the system, but a video will catch two of those things together because you're listening to what the person is saying and you're seeing what they're doing as well. So obviously the person who has the biggest the bigger presence online, because everyone nowadays are on their cell phones. The average American spends 4.5 hours on their phone every day, something like that. I know there's a lot of people that spend a lot more than that, but that's just the average there. So if you have a good presence, like, you become the who. Like, you'd be surprised how many calls I get, people asking me, do you know an electrician? Do you know a plumber? Do you know, like, who do you use? Just because they know I'm in the house industry, they know I'm connected to those people, even though I don't do that job. They call me for it because they see me on their story. They see me on the feed coming in every day with a picture or something like that. So I think that's and like, I was talking to someone the other day, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but a agent in my neighborhood called me, cold calling, saying, hey, I live in your neighborhood. If you're looking to list your house, you can call me. And I was telling her about, like, oh, that's interesting. I'm a realtor as well. And I was like, I work with the EXP Lighthouse. And she's like, oh, you work with Alex Camargo? I was like, yeah, he's my business partner. And she was like, oh, yeah, I've seen his videos. So he has no idea who she is, but she knows exactly who he is because he's the who.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So extremely important. That's the reason why, and a couple more, but that's the main reason why we wanted to bring you in, so people can understand how crucial, how important it is to have this presence on these platforms nowadays, just so you could be like, if you people will remember. And who they're gonna call? They're gonna call you, and especially if you're doing it for the right reasons and you're generating value on what you do. It's just an amazing thing,
If I could sum up the social platform, there's a little bit of a mind game, which comes as a question, which is, would you rather have $50 million or would you rather have 50 million friends, loyal friends? A lot of people go and say $50 million, right? But the idea is that you should want to have 50 million loyal friends, because if you ask your friends $5, they're loyal, so they'll give you $5. Guess what? You just made $250 million right on the first go, right? Because they're loyal friends. If you want to vote and if you want to run for Congress, run for president, immediately 50 million votes right off the bat. If you grow your business and you ask your loyal friends to then go just once a week, purchase like that $5 or $2 thing that you're selling, exponentially that grows over a business over the years. You have a multi-billion-dollar business. The idea of the social platform is exactly that. You're building a loyal following of people who trust you, people who engage with you, and through that, you can leverage it for your growth. And that's really the idea. But it's like you said, it has to be a mutual growth. That's really the only way that people grow in life. I give value to you, and we grow together, right?
Right.
And that's really what the social platform is. It gives people a glimpse into who you are as a person, into who you are as a father, who you are as a businessman, who you are. And that conversation generates trust. We're just not having those conversations eye to eye anymore, but we're having it on a social platform, which Instagram, TikTok are platforms that have a huge pool of people that are already there engaging with the platform. All you're doing is you're putting in your 2 cents in there, and you're engaging and taking some of the pie with you, which people who enjoy you, like you said, a realtor contacted you, they didn't know you directly, but it's like, hey, but I saw Alex's videos. I know who Alex Camargo is.
I think I should start posting as much as Alex posts, because it's like, oh, well, what about me? You didn't see any of my videos?
I know, yeah. There are technical aspects that you can go, how many times to post a day, how many times to grow. And obviously, the more you do, the faster you grow. It's, the law of exponential growth, especially in the social platform. The more you do it, in the beginning, it's tedious and it's like, oh, nobody's watching my videos, nobody's engaging with my content. But eventually, trust is built, and then all of a sudden, there's an exponential growth and spurt, and then you reach that viral level that everybody, it's like the holy grail of social media.
The moment where you look back and you thank yourself for having the faith to do this every day, even when you didn't see the result.
Sticking it through. Like you get a high when all of a sudden you only have like 200 followers on your Instagram, but you posted a Reels that got 5,000 views. You're like, oh my goodness, I feel so good about myself.
My 200 friends are watching this videos day and night.
Oh yeah, they watched it 5 times each. And then you post the next one, you only get like 50 views. And you're like, oh God.
Humbles you, doesn't it?
I am a nobody. Nobody cares about me. But it's that, just like anything else, if you grind through the process and you go through the uncomfort of dealing with the internal enemies, which is, your insecurity, which is I'm not as good as those people who are dancing on the videos. I'm not as communicative as that other person who seems like they got their stuff together. Gary Vee said it. Nobody saw it. He's been posting content for years, but nobody cared until he actually started, building a name for himself. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, Gary, you blew up overnight. He's like, I've been posting content for 12 years. Nobody cared about those.
He's so smart that even the content that nobody saw in the past, he can actually recycle those content and then play it back.
Exactly. Now, once you're a relevant name, you can just recycle old content, because if the content has intrinsic value, people like, I've connected with you and I left this conversation better because of you, they'll always come back to you.
Yeah.
They'll always come back to you.
In to put this into practice, right, for our audience, you're a social media guy, or you're a marketing director for a company, but you're a social media guy, that's what we call you. And we're a small company, or a small team of agents who decided that investing in your position full-time with this company was the best investment that we can have for our business. I mean, we're in no position of bringing somebody in at that point, but we believed in the work that you do, specifically because of the reasons that we're discussing here. Let's say other people don't have the means to go as far as investing in a full-time or part-time person at their company. What advice how can they get started? What can you tell them right now? Look them in the eye and say, you have to record one Instagram reel a week. Start with that. Do 4 weeks of that, and then come back and then do 2 a week now. Ideally, you can say what the peak is. The peak is you're doing 2 or 3 a day, but that's far-fetched for most of us.
Yeah.
But ideally, if you can do 1 a day, that's a great place to be in life. But if you're not there yet, what would you say? What would you tell them to start with?
Well, here's the thing. Because of the way the social platform is going, fortunately and unfortunately, right? The coin always has 2 sides. Video is really where you need to go. Video is really where you need to be. It doesn't mean that you have to put your face on it all the time. The golden ratio is about 80-20. 80% your, 20% your face, 80% the valued content that you're consistently putting out.
Let me pause you there again, because you need to say that one more time. If you want to make it in digital marketing, it's not pictures, it's in marketing. It's not pictures, it's not newspaper, it's not magazines. Say it again. For the people in the back.
It is a video. If you haven't heard me the first time, it's video. A little hack, if you can even, this is more the technical part of it, but you see a lot more of it now. Even if you have pictures, stylize it in a video and post it. It's still video, but it's your pictures, right? So you don't have to put your face on there. But the idea is that structure yourself, create a small little thing. Because the reality is nobody really wants to do it, because they either believe that it's not worth it, or they believe that it's not going to generate the impact that they're thinking. Because who am I? Well, Jordan Peterson says, do not underestimate the hole you leave behind when you're not present. So it's very important to show up to the conversation. But post 1 reel a week. Get comfortable with the process. That's all you can do. Love the process. Love it. Engage with it. Enjoy it. You can even suck at it in the beginning. Have fun failing. You know what I mean? That's where people aren't comfortable, because they're not comfortable in their own skin. But have fun failing. Put out a bad reel. It's okay. Nobody's going to engage with it anyways. So have fun with it, right?
Oh, maybe they'll blow up.
Oh, maybe it'll blow up, because a lot of times you'll see that. It's that bad video that goes viral, and you're like, oh, man, not the one I really wanted. But you never know, because you never know how people are actually going to truly engage with what you're putting out there, because you don't know where it's connecting to, what impact it's generating. So put it up. Start with 1 a week. Enjoy the process. Have fun failing. If it didn't have all that viral, impact that you wanted, it's okay.
You have to have the faith that eventually
have the faith that if you put the work in, eventually it's going to generate. Because at the end of the day, yes, you're doing it to generate business, especially if you're doing it as a business, right? If you're just doing it for clout and influence, yeah, it still generate.
Yeah, it's with the future intent of generating business.
Yes, exactly. So they still leverage their merch, right, when they do it. Yeah. So they're still making money off of it. But the idea is that start once a day, or 1 a week. The more you do, the more impact you generate. It's the Netflix model currently. Netflix isn't about quality almost this past year. I think 2021 and this 2022, they went for the quantity model. So they're putting out a movie a week. Every week there's a new movie coming out. Why? One of them is going to stick. One of them is going to be a hit. One of them is going to generate popularity. It can't be the new Squid Games, right? But it's still going to be something. But use the quantity model. then you're gonna start, doing as much as you can.
Let's talk about the difficulty that people have. Most people think that the difficulty is in creating content, but in my opinion, that's not really what the difficulty is. The difficulty is the self-critic inside of you. The content of what you have to post is there. You already know the information, especially if you're good at the business that you're in. You already know what to do. I mean, if you're in construction, you can film how to frame a house in no time because you know all of that. But, and I'm guilty of this, you create a video and then you watch it and then you say, nope, I didn't look good here. My hair was, whatever the case was. Or it's a reflection of, the reflection of the insecurities that you have inside are being portrayed out there. And you have a chance to turn that off and not post.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, if I could just chime in on that, is the need of approval.
Yeah.
From others, right? Mainly from the people you know. And you've said this to me before, like my audience, his audience, our audience here is not even going to be for those people.
Yeah.
It's going to be for, but it's like, oh, what are people going to think? Like, oh, is that, Danny, like the guy who went to high school with me? Like, what does he know? Like, what is he doing? And then all these things starts like in their heads. And now they're like, they don't want expose because they're thinking like, once I put that behind me and I didn't care, like, I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Like, none of these people are writing me a check to feed my child, So if this, why not? Like, especially if you're putting out something that is truthful, something that it's meaningful, that will impact lives, like what we do here. Definitely does a lot of that. You shouldn't be searching for your high school friends' approval or your family. It's gonna be like hard. Like I hardly ever, a family member will repost something that you put on there. Hardly ever, like that high school friend or whatever will repost something and will I put out a video the other day. And my wife reposted it, and one of her friends that I barely knew, that I don't know that much, she reposted as well because she liked what I said on it. Yeah, she found the value in it. And I had like almost 2,000 views on that video and everything like that, but not a lot of my friends or family or or anybody that's like, hey, here's, Danny's doing something meaningful here. Let's give him. And I'm not asking for, like, I'm not calling people and asking.
But I'm judging everybody.
I'm just,
I know.
I'm just mentioning it because it happens to everyone. It happens to us. I mean, you know.
See, like I said, like I mentioned before, I did pastor for a very long time, and having to speak in public for many years kind of gave me a little bit of an insight on how the audience participation is very important. At one point I had to develop my speaking skill, and I was really kind of venturing into that whole concept of there is what is called a local speaker, or you speak to your local audience, but those aren't the people that were really, I don't want to use the word idolizing, but you understand what I'm saying. Those aren't the people that we're looking up to. We're looking up to these people that are speaking on a global platform. And so I kind of engaged with that. And I'm like, okay, how can I turn myself from a local speaker to engaging with more of a global audience? The way I speak needs to change. The way I think needs to change. The way I carry myself needs to change. All of these things needs to change. And how I get my message across needs to change. That goes to local business. That goes to everything. And in the social media platform is that, especially in growing the YouTube channel, right? One of the key things I even said, please do not depend on friends and family to grow your YouTube channel.
Right.
Because they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
And because also the friends and family are a very small niche of the niche. They do it because they love you. They'll click on the video. You get a view. But it really screws up the algorithm because they'll watch it for 30 seconds. And you're like, yay. But they really need to watch at least half of the video for it to get out there. but they don't want to engage so much, right? They see your face every day.
Yeah.
So reaching that global audience is very important. So you have to change your strategy in speaking. You have to change all these things. But when it comes to the daily and when you see content that's being consumed virally, it's really speaking a global language. That's why this is back in the day, the early 90s, maybe late 80s, early 90s. Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean, he had a global audience. Why? None of his stuff was spoken. It was all expression. So there's no language barrier. And
Copy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, copy. All he does is point to stuff. Why? Because there's no language involved. People connect with it in such a deep way that you don't need language. It's just understood. It's going right at the heartstrings. So communication is very much emotional. You have to connect with people
like
in a way that it's important.
You like to quote Jordan Peterson, and so do I. And he said this once: "Nothing will make nothing in this whole world will make you more powerful than your words."
Yep.
No matter. No amount of money or amount of possessions that you have, because your words, and if you can speak, in the overall picture, because like your body language is like you say, what's the percentage that people understand?
It's roughly about 75% of your body language is the main form of communication.
Main form of communication, and nothing, because if you communicate well, if you write well, and you speak well, that's access to everything else. That's access to so wisdom, this seeking wisdom is read more, you know what I mean? Like,
read more, learn how to speak.
Learn how to speak. And
that's very important.
Yeah. Fight your fears too. Like I've had the problem with public speaking for a long time. And one of the things that I always, I learned is like, you have to face your fears, like look it right in the face, and
that's why I brought it up. Have fun failing.
Yeah.
Have fun failing. It's okay, because nobody's got it together. Nobody. The reels that you see online, the posts, the content that you're consuming, we know a little bit more. It'll sometimes take 50 takes to get it down, but you look at that one perfect post that you're like, no, he had to have done it. It's just raw talent.
And now their fear them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's the idea. That's why it needs to be more of a holistic approach. Fight the fear. Go through the process. Enjoy the process. That's where life takes place. And I know it's a little off the social media aspect of the conversation, but it's not really. Because whether you want to or not, it's your face out there. You are feeling that fear of being naked and exposed. That's where the crippling fear comes in, of not wanting to post anything. So we would rather stick in our comfort than actually fight it and grow from it and be able to grow our businesses from there. So fight it, having fun with it, and keep pushing ahead. That's for sure.
Well, my friend, thank you so much for being here with us in this podcast. Thank you also for being a part of our team and all the work that you do for us. All the ideas, all the research that you do, and doing your best to help us grow. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you being here today. I'm gonna let you wrap it up with what we like to say, so we can grow our YouTube channel as well. What
So if you want to like it, share it, and subscribe, send this to as many people as you can. Post it wherever you want to. Stories, reels, everywhere. It will help us tremendously, and it will help somebody else. True. That's really why we want to do this.
And that's a wrap. We'll see you guys next time with some awesome, great content.